What's up, YouTube? I've had a ton of people trying to get my thoughts on this particular deck and trying to figure out how I play the deck and whatnot. So finally I'm submitting to your wishes and posting up my profile. I admit I haven't played much since I had my 20-0 streak. Currently I'm 23-2. One was an Evil Swarm loss. I lost in Game 3 to Double Ophion. That card is such a bitch to get over for this deck. And the other one was a mirror match where Game 3 I was just not paying attention and didn't Valor a big eye, and it just went downhill from there in the mirror. Anyways, if you watched my other video, the way I told you guys pretty much to start with the deck was play triple of everything. So of course we have triple of the big guys, but I'm currently only playing doubles of the minis. There are occasions where I felt like I needed a third of one particular mini or the other, that if I had access to still in the deck, the hand would have been able to make a play that I better wanted. But that's completely overshadowed by the number of times that I don't need third copies of any of the minis. So yes, just 2 copies of that for now. Now, as for Wyverns and Lads, at first, I was probably one of the first people that I saw ever playing these particular cards in the deck. It's sort of taken over in the last week or so. Even as I started, I didn't play them at all. It was just sort of something I built into. And as such, I think there's really 3 ways to play the deck. There is No Lad, Tech Lad, and Focus Lad. If you're not playing any Lad, you're not playing Wyvern at all. If you're playing Tech Lad, you're usually playing 1 Wyvern and 2 Lads. Focus Lad, however, by adding the 3rd Lad, you now have 4 targets for Wyvern to search, which makes sense to add a 2nd Wyvern to the deck. And once you've gone Focus Lad, the whole idea behind that is just to help make sure that you get Lad in your first turn, like in your first hand or to your hand through Wyvern, and on the field, pretty much turn 1 next to like a Dragosack, and you're going to win in 2 or 3 turns almost 100% of the time when that happens. The only change between Tech Lad and Focus Lad is 1 Lad and the 2nd Wyvern, just 2 cards. But you sort of change your playstyle a little bit. Instead of going sort of OTK, one-trick pony route, you sit back, hoard resources a little bit, control the field with Lad, and then OTK after you know your opponent doesn't have anything they can do anything with. It's sort of it makes the deck 1,000 times better to play than just trying to play OTK Suppressor Dragons like a majority of people try and do. Red Eyes really doesn't need to be here in any way, but he makes a lot of freebies and good searches off the big guys. If you have Red Eyes, it's pretty much your win more card. Gores, we don't really play traps, stop OTKs. As a level 7, he works really well for any follow-up turns as well. Staple stuff, spell-wise, is all really, really simple. Triple Sark, you Sark for a big guy searches you little guy, and then your hand goes stupid from there. Even more stupid is 7-star Sword. You banish big guy, draw 2, and then search off that big guy. Probably it's like Pot of Greed on crack for the deck. Lots of back row hate, Staple, Hole, Reborn. And then I've chosen to play Treacherous. For quite a while, I had started the deck playing Return from Different Dimension, but I only ever got it off twice. Most of the time I either didn't draw it or never needed it when I had it, so I went for something that could help me control the field a little bit better, especially as a potential out to Ophion. Extra deck, you probably don't need 3 Dragosack, but you have a lot of room, so why not? I've only ever needed a 2nd Big Eye twice. I've gone into Biscayos once, never, and I've been into all of these guys at least once, or if there was a game that I could have gone into one and I didn't have it, I made sure to add it in after the fact. So those are the 5 synchros that I've chosen to, depending on synchros that I've gotten a hold of throughout testing. Side deck, Drago's really good for the deck, 1900. It gives you a normal, it stops chaos stuff. Whitehorn Dragon is absolutely stupid versus Prophecy, 3700 while removing their plus engines nuts. Prime Material, Burn exists, why not? Raikou, anything that's going to stall you out. Potential outs to Ophion, so long as they don't have Forbidden Dress, which is absolutely a stupid card, but because of Fire Fists and things that want to kill Ophion, Dress has all of a sudden become a good card. Hand Traps are pretty much needed in particular matchups. If you're playing Inzectors, you really need an Effect Failure. Possibly in windups also. Maxi is stupid in the mirror. And then finally, it's Triple Mind Crush for pretty much everything. I've talked about that in quite a few videos. A few other things to think about for the deck is Necroface. I particularly hate Necroface. If you Necroface, you're just sort of randomly banishing stuff, which might give you advantage, and it might not. I don't like the uncertainty of it. If you play the card, it's not that it's bad or that you're bad, it's just that I think you're taking an unnecessary risk. If you were to Sark for the big dragon to get the little dragon and go off anyways, you're probably in a better position. Shell does really good with Calderas and the Fire Mini and helping maintain hand advantage, but otherwise, I feel like if you're playing the straight Suppressor Dragon build, rather than just like trying to play the Fire Dragon in Fire Fist or something, then I don't think Shell's that great. Drago, I already mentioned why I've put it in my side, but it actually does work really well in the main also. Super Rejuvenation, I've never personally tested, but I've played against it quite a few times. I feel like it can be a good card, but I've seen people make subpar plays just to get off a Rejuvenation for draw. I don't particularly like that. And then the last thing is Dragon Ravine before my computer dies. I played this card for a little bit. I only used it once, and that's when I opened with it and Wyvern. Otherwise, I really didn't care for it. So I ended up cutting it to go into Focus Lad with the second Wyvern and third Lad. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.